Hello, welcome back to the ministry. This is Tajma Cameron, and today I want to go over a few songs. I'm gonna see how many I can get through in this one session, but the Lord kind of put it on my heart after I did the last video to go through these songs. I mentioned the other day. If you looked at the previous video that I did, just recorded, I talked about these men are kind of at that middle place where they want to meet in the middle. And these songs are kind of the songs the Lord gave me to give example for that. Now, I'm going to tell you a little personal thing that the Lord did with me. Years ago, when I was talking to the Lord, my personal private desire, and I said, Lord, I can't obviously figure out who my God-ordained spouse is. So because of that, I said, Lord, that when the time comes that my God-ordained spouse is going to come around, that you will bring this particular song to my remembrance. And I know that now is the season, and this song has been coming up pretty frequently. It's Kim, Love Calls. But the other night I was sitting and I was listening to music and on the radio, which I just figured out my phone can play radio without the internet. I didn't know that. But one of the songs that came up was a song from Atlantic Star called When Love Calls. And I want to go through both of those and something else that the Lord showed me. Because the Lord showed me a couple different songs. So we're going to see how far we can get in this one broadcast. So these men are in a space like they are ready and so are we. But we're kind of in that mid-range space, whether it be for love calling them and love calling us. The Lord showed me not too long ago that this is my season for love. Because I had my hair in the red. Y'all remember when I did the red? He showed me that I was anointed with love. Now, his love for me and my God-ordained spouse's desire for me as well. So here it says, here I stand with open arms. These men are open to these relationships. I'm offering my love to you. We have been spiritually offering our love to them. I want to do for you all the things that you want me to. A lot of us, and I was saying this in the previous video, there are things that we want from our God-ordained spouses. They ain't got nothing to do with their monies, their pockets, the things that they used to these women wanting from them. I think about cooking dinner. I love to cook, so I'm thinking about cooking dinner. What's his favorite dessert? What's his favorite thing to drink? All of these kinds of things. I think about those types of things. What is his favorite style for a house laid out? I think of the home. I think of running baths. I think of how I'm going to take care of the person. I'll do all the things that other person would not do. All the things that you want me to do. There's so much more. There's more to the things than just money. Buy me this. I'm that person that's like, you gonna go and take me to go shopping. I'm gonna look at you like, I can go on Hard Look, get half of the stuff that you are willing to buy for me at a 50% to 75% off price. Take that other 75% and give 50% of the 75 away to charity, and take the other 25% and give it away to the ministries that I've been sowing into for years. Because I think like that. I guarantee you none of them other women did. Matter of factly, this has been a thought that's processed in my mind several times over recently. So there's so much more that I can do for you. Yeah, but you just won't let me give you love. Some of these men have not allowed a woman to give them love. And that's what I was saying in the previous video, that I need that depth. You can have sex all day long, but without the depth within it, where you're emotionally, spiritually, physically connecting with the person, what's the difference in what they had in the previous relationships? Boy, what is wrong with you? And that could be a double entendre. What is wrong with you, in the sense of, I want to know what's wrong with you. And the other part is, what is wrong? How can I make that thing better in your life? Don't you know when love calls, you better answer? Spiritually, we've been calling these men repetitively. Answer the phone, pick up the phone. Sierra, pick up the phone, pick up the phone. Spiritually, pick up the phone. Don't you know when love calls, you better answer? If you decide to hesitate, these men have been in a state of hesitation. Oh, when love calls, you better answer. Don't let it slip away. Some of these men have been trepidatious due to the fact that they feel like we're going to slip away from them. Elisa Marie just did a video talking about, I know it's taking so long, and I know that I made you wait. I think she had the pink and white roses in the vase in that video, but it's a good one to look at. Because love may not ever come again. The type of love that we have for these men, they've never had it before. And this type of love, and Lady Jeremiah has been talking about this, God has had us sitting and standing for these men for the longest period of time. And God's at a point like, man, you better make a decision now. Or if you do not, this is a perfect woman for somebody else. But if I tell her to let you go, I can send to somebody else if you don't want to move. But I got work that needs to be done. Yes, I want you to have her, but there's work that needs to be done. Get a move on. It's pretty much where the Lord's at. I don't know, or I know that your heart is into playing the field, and that blinds you. Some of these men have spent years with scales over their eyes in relation to the directions in which they've been operating in, which has kept them blind to being able to see us even when God was starting to show us to them. Because for some of us, our spouse has known for 3-4 years who we are. And we've known 7-8. You can't see the forest for the trees. They haven't been able to see the forest for all them women that have been presenting themselves and falling at their feet. They're like, I see you over there, but I got about 50 different options in front of me. And for some of them, it's been hard to release them. Some of them have had to start cutting out phone contacts and all kinds of stuff, rearranging and arranging. It's like, I know I'm coming, but I got to make sure all of these things are taken care of, because I had a lot of people in my black book. Some of them did. The candle in my heart burns slowly every day. Don't you mess around too long and let me melt away. Some of these men have been just doing their own thing. I remember just Emily did a word that she talked about the release They were released from the counterfeits, and they are coming towards you. That they have had their final release. I need to find out what's the name of that word. Let's see if I can find it. Because it was a video from a while ago. No, is that it? I think it's Esther the King No Longer Mourns. It's finally your turn. I think that's the one. But there's also another word called Open Doors to Your Arc. But just go check out Just Emily. She has a lot of words that are relevant. Now, the next, because I ain't got that much time. They have been scared that our love was going to fade for them because of how long it took them, especially for those of us that have had to wait for years on them. We've known for years who they were and have had to wait, and the Lord said, wait. There are some people that have had to wait 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. And with their spiritual maturity, the Lord said, you can't say nothing to them until they're ready to come to you. And I'll bring them to you when they're ready, but you can't say anything to them. So when love calls, you better answer. Don't let it slip away. True love is so hard to come by. A lot of us have been cultivated for true love. These men had to be cultivated for true love so that they wouldn't mess up what God's about to bring into their life, and vice versa. It's precious and it's rare. What God has been trying to cultivate in us and cultivate in them to prepare either side so that this will be long lasting, and it won't be that you'll be sitting there going through a bunch of traumas and problems over a time frame. Don't miss out. Don't you dare. Come on and see it through. We are the cheerleaders cheering them on for them to come into these relationships. For when love calls, you better answer. You better answer. Don't let it slip away. You better listen. You better listen when love calls, baby. I'm calling your name. We've spiritually been calling these men in the spirit to come to us. With our prayers, with our standing, with our purity, with the way that we intercede for them. We've been calling them to us. When love calls, you better answer, because I'm waiting here for you. Now, on the man's side, they're sitting there thinking about you and all that you mean to them. And this is the Kim song. They used to think that they would never fall in love again, and they figured out that they were wrong. When your heart is broken, when your wounded pride is laid to rest. These men have had wounded pride for the longest period of time. The Lord showed me, my God-ordained spouse, that he's been dealing with a stiff neck in relation to pride. But God has had to use a chiropractic move to realign his spine and get rid of the pride, thereby having him lay his pride to rest. Baby, you'll never open your heart to anyone else. A lot of us have been in previous relationships where we knew we were not going to open our heart to nobody else unless the Lord sent this person to us. Hello. If it ain't him, okay. I guess I'm staying with Jesus for the rest of my life because I ain't opening my heart to nobody that, hell no. Drama and whatever. I don't need it. I don't need no cheating, no lying, or nothing. I've been through it. Got the t-shirt. Don't want it no more. So if the Lord didn't send them, we don't want them. You say, but you lied. I know you're lying, baby. You see, your mind might be made up. A lot of us have made up our mind that we wasn't even thinking about these men. But your heart has got its own plans. When God introduced these men to us, especially those that we told the Lord, I said to the Lord one day, Lord, show me who my God-ordained spouse is, and I will focus my energy on the assignments that you have for me. God did. For 7 years, I've known. And I had my own plans. I had the plans that the Lord was showing me. I wasn't thinking about no. There's no one to blame for false pride. Some of us were operating in false pride because we were like, nah, I don't need them. I don't blah, blah, blah. I live with you, God. God, we got it. It's this, that, and the other. Telling ourselves lies. Trying to hide from the feelings and the pain, whether it be the healing of our last relationship or the feeling of the pain of not being in a relationship and seeing other people getting married and having children and all of this type of stuff, and wondering, is this real or am I operating out of certain feelings? Falling in love with the ideal of it, but knowing in our heart of hearts, we really want that kind of stuff. I know you don't want to feel it. Some of us, and God's been allowing our God-ordained spouses' emotions to tap us. Some of us have been feeling their frustration. Some of us have been feeling the love that they've sent towards us. Some of us have been feeling it, and we've been kind of spiritually rejecting it because of the fact that we're like, look, I love you, but you ain't here. I can't focus my energy on that. And some of them have been dealing with the exact same thing. It's like, I feel your love towards me, but I can't deal with that because I'm in the middle of something. So it's kind of the timing on the way we send our love to each other is weird. There is nowhere to hide, but when love calls your name, from the dark, nowhere to hide, baby. There's nowhere to hide. We have been in a state of isolation that has left us in a dark place, but we hear love calling us. If I showed you all of the things that the Lord shows me on a daily basis in relation to love, red hearts, this, that, all that kind of stuff. Love, marriage, engagement rings, all this. We hear it. We feel it pulling us. But we can't hide from it. So let love have its way with your heart. We're desiring to let these people in, but it's kind of hard to let a person in that's not here. And they're feeling kind of the same way. It's like, how can I let this person in, but they're not here, that I can't see them nor vet them? You have to trust God. But open yourself up to even allowing that in your heart. So when love calls your name. It's on my lips. They know that it's on their lips to speak out what the Lord is showing them that they need to say and do in relation to you. They wish that you were there with them so that they could be taken into your love. And they're thinking kisses, or it's more of a physical thing than a spiritual thing. Take me away from all of this. They want you to take them away from their day-to-day grind of who they are. Some of them, and you know, those of you that are called to people that have stature, that they're looking for somebody that's going to remove them from that day-to-day grind of being who they are in that spotlight. Because too many words have been spoken. Some of these people have heard too much from the people that they've laid in bed with, saying that they're going to do all this kind of stuff, but there was nothing there emotionally, and they could not connect with them. So they left the relationship surface. And we also know we don't want just words. And too many lies have been told. These men have been lied to by the women that they have allowed in their beds. And some of us have been lied to the same way. That you'll never do it again, you tell yourself. They've told themselves. Some of these men, pause, have been through relationships that could have led to marriage, but the person that they were going to marry stabbed them in the back and the chest. They stabbed them both ways, in their heart and in their back. And they're just, they didn't know or want to believe that they could ever deal with it ever again. You're wrong, dead wrong. They knew that love was calling and pulling on them, but they were resistant to it. There's nowhere to hide when love is calling you. Love is calling them on their end. Love is calling us. But a lot of us on both ends have been resistant to it. That's why they want to know, let me know, because if you're not letting me know, please let me go. And it's like, no, we want you to know. Just come so we can tell you. There's nowhere to hide. When love is calling your name, you're falling apart. We spiritually have had our temper tantrums, fell out, all this kind of stuff in relation to these relationships. Because we're like, God, can you just release this person to me? Because I'm sick and tired of waiting and all of this type of stuff. But there's nowhere to hide because it's calling you. It's every time you say you're done with it, it calls you back. And same thing for them. It's calling them back because God knows your hearts, your spirits, your souls. It's calling you. Love is calling your name. It's calling out for you. It's calling for you. Love is on its way. These God-ordained spouses are on the way. Go back and look at my video, the interlude. At the end, I say the word husband, and it's a knock on the door. They knocking. They on their way. I'm sitting here thinking about you. These men have not been able to stop thinking about you. And you vice versa. If I told you how many times I see my God-ordained spouse's name on a daily basis, it's ridiculous. Confirmation that these men won't stop thinking about you. Sweetness, your touch, the softness of your voice. Some of them have been watching you on social media, especially those of you that are called to social media. They're using your videos because God brought this to my attention. I don't know why I never thought about it before. But the way that his voice soothes me, my voice soothes him. Same for you guys. It makes them want to do better and be better so that they can stand better with you. So they want to thank you for calling them and their spirit into you so that they could become better to be the husband that you need. Calling you into their life, into their arms, into the love. Which brings me to the next part. We talked about meet him in the middle. Well, it brings me to Tevin Campbell. I don't know how much we're going to get through because I only got a couple more minutes. But can we talk? They're ready to open up and start talking. I saw you standing and I started I started pretending I knew you. These men, because of the way God has shown them you, they began to even fantasize of pretending to have known you as they've got to know you through the way in which God has showed them to perceive you to them, if that makes sense. Shown them you, and they've noticed you. And that you knew me and I knew you too. They've been watching. And I don't know why he says just like a Roni. It's tenderoni is what he's saying. But you know the 90s. You were too shy. For some of us, we are shy people. Some of us, the boldness that you see of us speaking, it's not that we're so bold. It's just be presently able to be present in the moment at which we're speaking. But I'm also sitting there by myself. Think about it. But you weren't the only, because I was too. These men have a bit of a shy complex, and you have a bit of a shy complex. This is the way I think about it. I'm going to share this part. I think the Lord is laughing at both of you. I feel like God is watching from above. The very thing that you're afraid of and the very thing that they're afraid of is identical. It's almost like we think so much alike that God is laughing at us 24/7 because of the fact of the thoughts that cross our mind are identical. It's just two different situations. And God is laughing because it's almost like two people thinking with one mind. Isn't that what marriage is? When two become one, our minds have already become one. It's just we're operating in two different places. But you weren't the only, because so was I. I dreamed of you ever since. God's given them dreams of you. Now I built up my confidence. God has been building their confidence to approach you. Next time you come my way, I know just what to say. Some of them have had multiple opportunities to reach out to you, but they kept fumbling the ball. But this time when they do finally come, they're going to do it in such an immediate way because they're going to, you know how when a person says, okay, I'm going to take a leap. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to just do it. It's going to happen so suddenly because it's like we've seen no evidence, and then they're going to jump up and come up and say something. And it's like, what? Where did you come from? And it's like that was them getting confidence, which means I'm just going to jump out here and do it. Because if I don't jump out here and do it, I'm not going to do it. That's the way it's going to come. We just didn't know when. So can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. I started to write you letters. Some of us have written letters, notebooks, so on and so forth. I don't know where that notebook went. Jesus be offense that nobody sees it. But I wanted to be more clever. Some of these men are writers. Some of these men have positions that as their position is they write whatever it is that they're called to, calls for them to write things. And they've written things, whatever it is, in relation to it. And they probably have those hidden notebooks and private stuff. And it's all in relation to you. I wanted to be more clever. They wanted to sweet talk you. They wanted to talk to you. Now, some of these men, they done sweet talked every woman. So it's one of those scenarios. They got to be a little bit more clever than just to sweet talk you, because you're like, bro, you probably have done this to a bunch of women. That's not going to work. I'm going to need more than words. So, but just like a baby, I could not talk. Some of them, they understand that they can't approach us just any type of way. So they're like, I don't know what to say. I can't. I tried to come closer, but could not walk. A lot of them have been wanting to come closer, but they just couldn't. They didn't know how to bring themselves to come closer to you. I think of it every night, how I could get it right to come close again. Because some of them were close, but they got scared and backed off. And of course, the spirit of Jezebel intimidated them and all that kind of stuff. And their career was trying to distract them and all kinds of stuff. Bombs coming up in their personal life in order to try to distract them away from you. And now they're like, has it been too long? Can I come close again? Well, if I come close, are they going to accept me? Yes, we waiting. So can we talk, baby? Can we talk for a minute? They want to sit down and talk to you about the things that they have not been able to say to you, because this meeting is necessary in order for